Yes, I mean I've definitely heard of similar uh, criminal cases, of tourists traveling abroad and being kidnapped or abducted. But Lost in the Stars is a crime thriller film. It's actually not based on any certain true story, but it's actually yes of true events. So, it's actually a combination of such stories, and we're trying to find an interesting character from such events. Yeah, I think such island gives me like a very mysterious feeling. So we set up this. It's actually a fictitious island called Balandia. We also took elements from such tropical islands, and I think it helps to make this story more interesting because Ireland is very isolated and is very exotic, and it can help build a very thrilling atmosphere. And also, such isolated island, it usually has its own societal system, and we were able to make it more interesting to build such interpersonal relationship on such an island, and to make it very interesting to build it around our characters within this system. So yeah, I think such island could be like a heaven to some tourists, but it could be hell to others. I think it all actually comes out from your heart. Well, I think, it just because I want to make it more difficult, it would be like a language barrier for the protagonist, and it would be more difficult for him to, uh, you know, get what he wants. And for a country like this, is also like I just said, is a tropical island and is isolated, and it could be very mysterious, and it helps to build this really thrilling atmosphere around the characters. Yeah, I mean, for me myself, I'm a fan of impressionism, and we all know Van Gogh is the representative figure of impressionism. Um, yeah, and I think his painting mostly based on true views, true things, but also having like very free, very stylized, um, and very dynamic take on the painting itself. So usually I feel when I see his painting, I feel I can see the surface, how he draws the painting, but also feel like there is kind of undercurrent beneath the canvas as well. So I like that contrast. I like that layers that he was building, and it's just like our story. Our story is based on true a series of true events, and also it has something going underneath. So uh, something comes from like people's greedy desires, and yeah, I just think that's interesting to make. It's interesting to make such connection, and also Van Gogh is to us. He is a genius madman. That's what people said, and it's also I like the contrast in the character, and also took that and put it into our protagonist as well. We're actually, we're trying to build very contrasty world with beautiful sceneries and brutal realities. So diving to me, it could be really romantic, but also dangerous at the same time. So um, when you think about diving, you picture those beautiful fishes, benzos, and if you actually dived before, you would know that if you go deep into the water, you could see those soft glowing fishes. They're really beautiful. They're like stars in the sky. So that helped me make the connection between the underwater world and the painting the Starry Night. And I think such connection could be really interesting and could be a new inspiration for a lot of interesting, interpretations of our film and also new interpretation of the painting. I mean, Hefei, he comes from a small town in southern China, and he actually wants to grow and wants to gain a decent life in Shanghai, uh, one of the biggest city in China, and that's like just like a lot of the young people nowadays. But he chose a wrong path, and he chose a wrong way to solve his problem. And I think he is very eager to success, but he took the wrong way, and he is kind of like a warning to young people when you're trying to get what you want and try to gain your goal. You have to I don't know. I think you have to be more kind-hearted at first, and also try to work hard. Don't be too greedy to just want to get things without work. So yeah, that's basically what I want the audience to feel through this character. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really shoot in a chronological way. It's a very luxury thing for filmmakers. Well, I'd help to do that, but we didn't. But I planned ahead all the flashbacks because I think those are very important to the story, and also in the thriller genre, it helps the audience to know a different side of the story, to see some reverses, is very important, very essential to a story, to a thriller story, and sometimes you would be the audience would help the audience come to a realization, oh, the story didn't happen that way, but this way. So sometimes it reminds them some details of the story that happened before, but sometimes also it helps to build a very surprising reverse. So I love to, I love flashbacks. So I usually plan ahead before the shooting, and because I used to be an editor as well, and I also edited this film, so Mm, I always have plans. I don't like to figure out things in post production because I think that's like making up to the imperfection in shooting. So I always plan ahead. To be honest, I didn't write the script, and but the writer, uh, Chen Sicheng, he is also a very well known Chinese writer director, known for his work Chinatown Detective. He's the writer of Lost in the Stars. He is also the executive producer, and he once told me when he was writing the story, he thought about Yilong. um, I also liked Elon because I saw his previous work. I think he is really perfect for this role, and he works really hard, and he's very serious and very earnest when it comes to acting. And I still remember when we were shooting the scene of the shaving scene. He actually didn't rest or eat for a few days to get really frustrated and get really exhausted naturally. So I think it looks great, and the scene played out really well. So yeah, I think he's a great actor, and he worked really hard. They're all very very good and embracing young actors. Uh, Nini, she played in several very well done films as well. And James Man is come from Chinese Hong Kong, and also there was uh, Du Jiang is also a great actor, and it was a really great cast. And when we casted them, we also had one principle: we want to have surprise for the audiences. So, sometimes I think reverses are one of the reverse is one of the most important factors in thriller films. So the reverses comes from sometimes from the plot, sometimes from the story, the characters, but sometimes it can come from the cast as well. So when the audience see those actors, they had an impression of them, and they know they would never, they are like what they are, they're like what they are looking at. But when the reverse comes out, they are like really, really surprised, and that's what we want for this movie. So, and I think they all did really well, and they all hide themselves really well. So at the end, the audience are really surprised. Yeah, I mean, I always liked, like contrasty views, and I like colors. So with this film, I want to make like a very different thriller story, because usually thriller films give you a like very foggy, very um, dark feeling, from the viewer point of view. But with this film, I was trying to build a very colorful view with this very dark story. So I think it helps to make it more contrasty. I don't have any certain filmmaker that really influenced me, but I saw a lot of great works, and they all kind of inspired me. Yeah. Well, I think this story is not very um, culturally isolated, because it's a story, it's a very international story. And no matter where you come from, what's your culture, we're all eager to travel to mysterious, exotic places. It could be Southeast Asia, it could be like mid America, it could be Africa, or anywhere. If we travel, we always worried about having our relatives missing or something like that. So it speaks to all of the audiences. It's not only speak to Chinese audience. So I'm not worried about uh, foreign friends not understanding the story. And within the story, I think different people, when they watch this film, they can get different feelings out of it. But in a deeper understanding, I want people to feel that. Mm, well, one of the themes of the story is making decisions in our lives, and decision making is very important. And for the protagonist, Hefei, he definitely made the wrong decision to solve his problem in life in a very negative way. So if he chose, he had the chance to choose a positive way to solve his problem in life, solve his relationship, to deal with his relationships with the girl, and he could have life like a very beautiful life, just like the scene in the bonus scene, which I wanted to show people. So I think in a word, to make your life a heaven or make it or a hell, it all comes down to the bottom of your heart. So just really make the right decisions is what I want the audience to feel. Yeah.